She wasn't just part of the team, she was the energy, the spark, the one person who made every recovery look effortless, even when it clearly wasn't. One week, Caitlyn Bourne was out in the desert, cracking jokes and calling perfect lines like it was second nature. And the next, gone. No warning, no update, no explanation, just silence. At first, people thought it was nothing. Maybe she missed a trip. Maybe she was sick. But then it happened again and again. Weeks passed, videos kept dropping, recoveries kept happening, but Caitlyn was nowhere to be seen. And that's when everything changed. The comment sections turned into search parties. Fans weren't just wondering, they were demanding answers. Speculation exploded. Rumors spiraled out of control. Was she fired? Did she leave? Was there something darker going on behind the scenes? The crew said almost nothing. And that silence, it spoke volumes. So, what actually happened to Caitlyn Bourne? Well, depending on who you ask, the truth is either incredibly simple or unbelievably twisted. And we're about to dive into all of it. At first, nobody panicked. Caitlyn had missed a video or two before. No big deal. Maybe she had a cold. Maybe she had something else going on. But then came the third video, the fourth, the fifth. Still no Caitlyn. No quick mention from Matt. No community post. Just silence, like she had never existed. That's when the shift began. The comment section, once filled with inside jokes and praise for tricky recoveries, started filling up with a single question. Where's Caitlyn? At first, it was casual, friendly, curious. But then the tone changed. The questions turned to theories. The comments started piling up with concern, then suspicion, and finally mushed frustration. For a channel that had always felt like a tight-knit family, the lack of any update felt wrong. People started digging. Reddit threads popped up overnight. Facebook groups started buzzing with theories. Fans began combing through old videos, hunting for any clue, any frame, any hint that might explain what happened to the show's newest breakout star. It didn't help that Caitlyn had become so central to the team so quickly. She wasn't just the new girl, she had become the face of a new era for the channel. And now, without warning, she was just missing. What started as quiet concern had now become a full-blown digital firestorm. But this wasn't just about a team member going dark. To viewers, this felt personal, because Caitlyn wasn't just part of the channel. She was the reason a lot of fans were still watching. And the fact that no one was saying anything, that's what really lit the fuse. You don't just replace someone like Caitlyn Bourne. When Lizzie left, it hit fans hard. She was calm, capable, and brought a steady energy that grounded every recovery. Her departure felt like the end of an era. So when Caitlyn showed up, no one knew what to expect. And she didn't try to copy anyone. She didn't need to. Caitlyn came in with steel-toed boots, a sharp eye, and a grin that made even the toughest recovery feel fun. She wasn't a substitute. She was a spark, and the audience felt it instantly. From the start, she moved like she belonged. Whether she was calling a line, crawling over boulders, or cracking a joke mid-winch, everything about her felt effortless. Viewers could tell this wasn't someone playing a role. This was someone who'd lived it. Caitlyn had been rock crawling since before most kids could reach the pedals. Her dad, Kevin Bourne, was a legend in the sport. She grew up spotting for him at competitions, not just tagging along, but learning, watching, thinking, mastering the craft. By age 11, she was already driving buggies. By 12, she was competing against grown adults on brutal terrain that chewed up even seasoned pros. And she didn't just survive. She stood out. That experience gave her a calm confidence most people never develop. She could read terrain like a map. She spotted weight shifts before they happened. Her presence on Matt's crew didn't just make the team better, it changed the vibe of the entire show. She brought something rare, a combination of skill, passion, and authenticity. She didn't need to be flashy, she just needed to be herself. And fans loved her for it. That's why her sudden absence hit so hard. It didn't just feel like someone was missing. It felt like the heart of the team had gone silent. And once people realized that, the panic really started to build. Once the silence dragged on, fans did what the internet always does. They filled in the blanks themselves. At first, it was just quiet speculation. Maybe she was sick. Maybe school was pulling her away. Maybe it really was just a short break. But when weeks passed and still no word from the crew, the questions turned into something else entirely. A full-blown frenzy of fan theories, digital detective work, and some of the wildest speculation the off-road community had ever seen. Reddit threads exploded overnight. Longtime viewers began timestamping past videos, analyzing background chatter, comparing facial expressions. A few even claimed to find coded messages hidden in throwaway clips, like this was some kind of puzzle waiting to be solved. Facebook groups lit up with side-by-side comparisons of drone shots, vehicle lineups, even Caitlyn's social media activity, or lack of it. And it wasn't just one theory, it was dozens. Some said she left for a better opportunity, others were sure she had been forced out. A few believed she was still around, just off camera. Then there were the darker whispers, the ones no one wanted to believe but couldn't fully ignore. It got to the point where you couldn't scroll through a video without seeing it. Where's Caitlyn? Why won't they say anything? Something's off. They're hiding something. What had started as silence had now become a roaring void. And that void was filled with everything from plausible guesses to full-on conspiracies. The disappearance wasn't just a moment, it became a movement. And what fans believed next would take the mystery to a whole new level. Among the sea of wild theories, one explanation actually made sense. It didn't involve secret islands, drama behind the scenes, or dark cover-ups. It came from something Caitlyn herself had hinted at more than once, her obsession with flying. Longtime fans knew Caitlyn wasn't just a rock crawler, she was fascinated with aviation. In interviews and offhand comments, she'd talked about wanting to become a pilot. She'd already passed her physical. She flew the team's drones with scary precision, and she lit up every time she talked about being in the sky. So when she vanished, some viewers didn't look to the desert, they looked up. According to this theory, Caitlyn had been accepted into a fast-tracked flight school, maybe even on scholarship. Something big, something she couldn't pass up. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that meant trading the roar of recovery rigs for the whine of propellers. Fans started pulling receipts. Someone claimed her drone's registration had been linked to a private airfield 2 states away. Another insisted they saw her name on a small aviation class roster in Nevada. It wasn't confirmed, but it was just believable enough to stick. And honestly, it would explain everything. No drama, no falling out, just a young prodigy chasing a new challenge. The kind that required full focus, full time, and probably a break from YouTube fame. But for some fans, that answer felt too clean, too quiet. Because if that were really it, why not just say so? Why the silence? Unless, of course, the real reason wasn't about leaving the ground. It was about getting pulled in another direction entirely. And that's where things start to get messy. Not everyone bought the aviation angle. To a different set of fans, Caitlyn's disappearance wasn't about a career change. It was about a power move, a strategic play in the cutthroat world of off-road content. Because like it or not, this isn't just about buggies and boulders anymore. It's business. And Caitlyn? She had become a hot commodity. The theory goes like this. A rival recovery crew, maybe a pro-level rock crawling team, maybe another YouTube channel looking for a breakout star, made her an offer she couldn't refuse. A new rig, a bigger salary, top billing, creative control. Whatever it was enough to pull her away from Matt's team and into something bigger, or at least more tailored to her. Some say the offer came from within the pro circuit, a competitive team with deep pockets and a sharp eye for talent. Others point fingers at rival creators, the kind of channels that saw Caitlyn's insane popularity and knew exactly what she was worth. And let's be honest, her brand was gold. She had the skill, the look, the following, and the charisma to lead any crew. And then there's her father, Caitlyn Bourne, a veteran rock crawler who still runs a serious team. Some believe Caitlyn may have returned to her roots, not to step back, but to step up, to take over, lead, and build a legacy of her own under the Bourne name. A family business, elevated. No matter which version you believe, the outcome is the same. Caitlyn didn't leave because she was tired. She left because she was wanted. But if that's true, why the secrecy? Why the complete radio silence from the Moore crew? Why no good luck or she's chasing a dream? Farewell. Unless it wasn't a clean break at all. And the real reason they're not talking is because it didn't end on good terms. Or maybe, just maybe, there was something they didn't want us to see, something that didn't happen out there on the open trail, but somewhere a lot more secret. And that's where the story takes a darker turn. This is where things get weird. Most fans stuck to grounded theories, new career, rival offers, maybe burnout. But then came the whispers about a place that doesn't show up on maps, a place even longtime fans only knew by one name, Wrecker's Isle. It sounds like fiction, some made-up off-road myth. But according to the diehards, Wrecker's Isle is real, a massive, privately owned stretch of land deep in the Utah wilderness. No roads in, no cell service, surrounded by rugged terrain on all sides. A virtual island, cut off from everything. The legend says Matt acquired it quietly after the Topaway legal battle, wanting a place to test wild new recovery methods without prying eyes. But rumors started swirling, that this island had a strange history, that it used to be a military test zone, that it was littered with decaying bunkers, twisted metal, and worst of all, magnetic anomalies that mess with electronics, GPS, and maybe even machines. And that's where Katelynn comes in. According to this theory, Katelyn's final appearance before disappearing was during a recovery mission on Wrecker's Isle. The video? Never released. Supposedly something happened out there, something they couldn't show. Some believe it was an equipment failure that spiraled out of control. Others think it was more serious, that she was injured, or worse, witnessed something she wasn't supposed to. One version of the theory goes even further, claiming Katelynn didn't leave voluntarily at all, that she was forced into silence to protect the secret of the island, a secret the crew never wanted to go public. There's no proof, no footage, no drone shots, just gaps in the upload schedule, a few offhand comments that were later deleted, and one video where fans claim you can hear someone say, "She's not coming back." Off camera, mid-recovery. It could be nothing. It probably is nothing. But for the fans who believe it, Wrecker's Isle isn't just a location. It's the cover story. And Katelynn? She's the one piece they couldn't control. After weeks of silence, endless speculation, and conspiracy theories that range from the believable to the bizarre, the crew finally spoke. Sort of. The explanation? Katelynn was just on vacation. No scandal, no fallout, no rival team or secret island. Just a simple break. Some time off after months of grinding in the desert heat, hauling winch lines, filming recoveries, and living life in front of a camera. According to whispers from people close to the crew, Katelynn had been working nonstop. She needed space, rest, a reset. And maybe that's true. Maybe the most shocking explanation of all is that there isn't a secret. That for once, the internet's wildest theories were just that, theories. Maybe Katelynn will be back next week, laughing in the background like nothing ever happened. Maybe she already filmed a comeback video and it's just sitting in the queue. But for many fans, that answer feels incomplete. Because this isn't the first time someone disappeared from the team quietly. Remember Cafe? He stepped away in 2024 to focus on family and his outdoor passions. No hard feelings, but he never returned. Tom left to start his own fabrication business. Lizzie traded YouTube for ranch life. Rudy launched his own channel. Skier moved states. One by one, the crew has changed. Every goodbye has been wrapped in calm words and clean exits. But the fans remember the pattern. They've seen how just taking a break becomes actually she's not coming back. And when it comes to Katelynn, the silence, the total absence, still doesn't sit right. No farewell, no teaser, just missing. So what's really going on? Is this just a young woman taking a breather after going full throttle for months? Or is it the start of another permanent goodbye, wrapped in the kind of explanation that keeps things clean, quiet, and unchallenged? One thing's for sure. If Katelynn isn't coming back, fans won't let it fade quietly. She mattered too much. She was too much, too skilled, too real, too magnetic to vanish without a trace. And if she is coming back, why hasn't anyone said a word? So now we ask you, was Katelyn's disappearance just a well-deserved break? Or is there something deeper hiding in the silence? Drop your theory in the comments. Smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Because in the world of off-road recoveries, the most twisted turns don't happen on the trail. They happen behind the camera.